Okay, it's January 31st, 2018, and over there on the eastern horizon is the full moon. This is a blue moon, this particular one. Means it's the second full moon within the same month is what that means. But tonight I'm not so worried about that, so much worried about that as I am I want to see whether or not moonlight is cold. I want to see whether or not it's cold, as we've been told here as we research the flat Earth. I've done this experiment on my own in the past, and I have determined that it is cold, but tonight I'm going to show it to you on video. Problem is it's dark and it's hard to get any video, but I've got a flashlight here, so what I'm doing, I want to show you kind of what I've got in mind. Here's my truck, and I've got it parked underneath a little carport here, and what I'm going to do, alright, so what I've done is I've taken my truck and I've stuck two thermometers on it, and I just brought them out from it being inside the house, and they're pulling down. One's a little bit lower than the other one. They'll settle out at the right temperature here before too long. And this side of my truck is underneath the roof here and protected from the moonlight, or it will be. Maybe it's getting hit a little bit by it right there. It's coming up due east, so as it gets higher it'll be protected on this side, and we'll have two control thermometers. What I call, this is my control phase of the experiment. As the moon gets higher, I'm going to take one of those and place it on the back of the truck, which is exposed to the moonlight. As the moon comes over the roof, it'll be about 2 or 3 in the morning, it'll come over the roof and shine on the back of the truck. And what we'll have is we'll have one of the thermometers here that are it's still going to be reading the shade of the moon, and one on the back of the truck that's going to be showing being in direct moonlight, and we're going to see if there's any difference on these temperatures. So there's the moon coming up over the corner of the building. We should have pretty clear skies tonight. I don't know if you can see any of the stars up there. I'll show you the horizon here though, the city lights down here. It's very clear, so it should be a good night to do the experiment. And let's see, yeah, these lights here are probably about 15 miles in the distance on top of the mountain over there, and 15 miles, that's quite a ways. And actually there are some mountains I can see from here that are well over 50 miles, so that brings the whole idea of curvature. Shows how ridiculous it is that we would think we had curvature. We do not have curvature. So anyway, clear night. Hopefully we'll have good results. Alright, it's about 10 o'clock. See, the moon is making its way across the sky. I checked the temperature gauges, thermometers, and I'm having a little trouble getting on the stick. I've had to reapply with duct tape. This is the south here, so I guess we had to use duct tape somewhere. But right here, if you can barely see my truck, and the light is not yet, the shadow is, you'll never be able to see that, I don't suppose. Well, maybe you can, barely. The shadow is falling on the right side of the truck, and it's not yet made it around to the back, so we're not quite ready to move the thermometers back. but we're getting closer. So we can see the sky is lit. That light is so bright. That moon is so bright. Kind of scan the yard there. I don't know if you can see that, but it is very bright. Very bright out tonight. So we're gonna put this thing to the test in just a matter of a couple hours, and we'll have it. Okay, I'm back around here at the truck, and you can see there I've duct taped these things on the side of the truck, and they're both synchronized now at 35 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of them off and put it on the back of the truck, which will shortly be in the moonlight, and then we'll come back a little later and see what we have. Okay, I've moved one of the thermometers back onto the back of my truck. You can see it's reading 35 right there, and all we got to do now is wait. Okay, folks, it's about an hour later since I moved the thermometers, and here's the one on the back of the truck. It's showing 31 degrees. 31 degrees. Now let's walk back over here to the one on the door, and back up so I can find it here. There it is. Alright. And it's still reading 35. Okay, so there you go, folks. 35 and 31 over here. So there you go. It's it's a little bit after 3 o'clock, and as you can see there, the moon extremely bright, as it has been all night. The cloud cover has almost completely dissipated, and we have an absolutely brilliant night. The camera is not on low lux, so through the viewfinder here I can see the shadows cast by the moon. So once again, we have a perfect night here, January 31st, 2018. And towards the end of the last segment, I was beginning to wonder what kind of challenges are going to be brought against this video. And people are going to say, well, heat was trapped under the roof, and you had it stuck under near the cab of the truck, which the cab of the truck would retain more heat and things like that. So I decided to, rather than end it at the last segment, to move the temperature gauge, the thermometer, toward the back of the truck. See, it was up there. I moved it here. Let's see what it says. It actually went up a degree. I think it's actually getting warmer. I don't think that's for any other reason. It's the temperature was 1 degree warmer on the news channel when I left out to come out here. So it's up to 36 now right here in the shade of the moonlight. And as you can see, this is at the back of the truck right there. So there's the same, there's no warm cab. It's out toward the end of the of the building here, the carport. So we're in the same. Only difference is it's in the shade, 36 degrees. Now, what does the other one back here, which is now completely in the moonlight? I see the moonlight actually shining on it. Before, it was just barely entering in, just had just a little bit of moonlight on it. So what does it say now? "32 degrees. So it's showing the 1 degree increase in temperature, and it's also showing 4 degrees, just like it was the last time. It was 35 at the cab and 31 at the tailgate. Now both at the bed of the truck are still showing 4 degrees apart. So what are the final results of this experiment? It's around 4 degrees cooler in the moonlight than in the shade of the moonlight. Folks, that is this is the third time I've done this experiment, and this is of course the first time I've made a video of it. Every time that I tried it, I got these same results. So I've done it multiple times. If you're out there somewhere and you're saying, "Oh, you cheated or whatever, you didn't show off blah 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 this or that," well, you can stick it, because I've proved it to myself, and I've been honest with this experiment. I've done it several times, like I said, 3 times in fact. And these are the results, and these are accurate. It happens every single time that I try it, without exception. But anyway, folks, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Until then, take care.